having me.
And a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives in 2018 midterm implications are on the line this Tuesday, as Pennsylvania's 18th congressional district will hold a special election to replace Republican Congressman Tim Murphy, who resigned in October amid controversy. The Republican candidate is Pennsylvania House of Representatives member Rick Ciccone, and the Democratic nominee is former federal prosecutor Connor Lamb. Here to break down the issues leading up to the election and what it might mean for the midterms in November is Talking Points contributor Jack Watson. Jack, so Connor, thanks so much for being here, first of all. So Connor Lamb has actually out-fundraised Ciccone, which has prompted a lot of outside groups to start sending donations to Ciccone. How worried should the GOP be about the fundraising disparity here?
Mike, it is true that Lamb had the most initial funding going into this special election, but Paul Ryan, most notoriously Paul Ryan's Political Action Committee, stepped in and provided some funding for the Republican candidate Rick Ciccone. Now, whether it should worry the GOP, I would say that probably, it should be a little bit alarming, especially considering that President Trump won that 18th district by almost 20 points in the presidential election over the Democratic counterpart Hillary Clinton. So, it's definitely something to look at.
And it's getting pretty close. We see that Emerson College poll that has Lamb up by 3%. Just how close is this election going to be?
You know, I was prepared to say that this election is probably going to go to the Republicans, but that poll came out on Monday. I was shocked by it, up by 3 points. We're not just talking about decimal numbers here. That's a pretty significant number.
Definitely.
And it's not leaving a lot of room for undecided voters either. 48 to 45, I believe the poll was. But one thing that we should also keep in mind going into this election is what President Trump is doing for that region. Most notably today, what will probably rally a lot of Republicans is what he's doing with North Korea, South Korea, the denuclearization effort there. A lot of Republicans are really going to admire that, and it's also also important to keep in mind the tariff announcement earlier this week that's supposed to be protecting steel industries. Southwestern Pennsylvania, very famous for steel production, so we'll see how that plays out.
And Jack, generally speaking here, regardless of whether Lamb or Ciccone wins, what sort of statements do you think this could make on the 2018 midterms?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the midterm elections because, as you'll recall, the entire state of Pennsylvania was just redistricted for the upcoming election. So in the region, the 18th congressional district currently, there's going to be several different, in that southwestern Pennsylvania region, there's going to be several different regions, congressional districts. So whoever wins this election is going to serve for only a couple of months until the midterm elections happen. So, depending on how well they can rally their bases, President Trump's supposed to campaign for Ciccone. Joe Biden, Pennsylvania native, is supposed to campaign for Connor Lamb. We'll see how it plays out.
And Jack, I think this really has a chance to set the pace for the 2018 midterms. We'll see how it plays out. Thanks so much for joining us.